Alright guys, you know what time it is. We got the ZL1 wheels ready to put those on, and we're going to do a test and see how well they fit, if we have any issues out of them. So you guys will be getting the first look at one of the first 5th gen cars that's actually lowered to run ZL1 wheels. Any other car I've ever found was like stock height, and they're all the replica wheels, which are different offsets and stuff like that. So these are actually the 20x11 and 20x10 actual takeoffs from an 18. So we're going to see how those fit. I think it's going to be just fine, but you guys are going to get a first look at putting 2018 real ZL1 wheels on a 5th gen. So we're going to get this thing in the air and get to swapping some parts, and if we have any trouble, I'll definitely let you guys know. But let's see how they look.
All right, just way around.
Yeah, that's all right. Just taking a look at these rear wheel like, look at this. This is the rear wheels. It's almost like double the size. It's pretty crazy at the differences in them. So as you can see, her stock wheel on the SS versus the ZL1. I mean, dude, I'm like half the tire here, and I'm like a fourth of the tire here. Like, that's huge. So this is a 305/30 20, and these are 285/30 20s. So as far as the size, it's pretty obvious that these are not as tall, but way wider. So these are going to look crazy. Let's going to throw this rear on, and hopefully it doesn't rub. So let's see what we got. All right, guys, got the front tire off. Look at the difference in this. I mean, huge difference. Like from here.
Look at all that tread.
Yeah, the tread is so deep. These are like brand new all seasons versus like 25 to 3,000 mile supercars.
You know what my dad would say? He'd be
crazy.
Like, girl, are you nuts? Look at that.
Well, your tire ain't got no tread on it no more. All right, guys, got the front wheel on. You can see here the ZL1 wheel compared to the SS wheel is like night and day. Like, it literally looks like you went like ahead like 6 years in technology. It's like Stone Age and 2018, like night and day difference. This is crazy. The thing has not settled yet, so don't mind my wheel gap. But when we roll this thing out and get it drive down the road a little bit, get the suspension to even out, I'm really kind of concerned it may actually try to touch, but I don't think it will. But look at the amount of, like, okay, you seriously have like half an inch of wheel almost sticking out of the fender well. This is crazy. Look at that. From the top down, you can actually like rest your foot on the sidewall of the tire. That is nuts. That is so wide.
Looks like the same car.
All right, guys, this thing is on the ground. We actually took it for a little drive, kind of took it down the driveway and back, and we did discover one problem with the car. So the wheels are so wide now that actually, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but the brake line, now that it's in the air, if you can see right there, what that is doing is actually hitting the inner lip of the back of the wheel. So for some reason, I don't know, maybe a 2010 quirk thing, like they may have changed it past this year, but if you have one of these cars and you're putting ZL1 wheels on it, now this applies to any of the 11-inch wide ZL1 stock, replica, any of that, check your brake lines in the back. For some reason, these were in a different location, and we heard like a don't going down the road. Just sounded like rubber. And I thought it was inner fender, but there's plenty of room in the inner fender. So this car is so low, and the wheel is so wide that that's what's happening. So this may not apply to you if you're at stock height, but this car's lowered like 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches. So that's what we're dealing with. So just be aware of that, guys, if you're going to run these wheels. And right now what we're going to do is pull this apart, see if we can reroute it. Alright, guys, got the car in the air, and you can see kind of firsthand what was going on. We just got these out of the way for now with some zip ties, but we're going to trace these back and start working our way in, hopefully bringing these in a little bit. Alright, guys, so here's what we're doing. We're going to take some 7/16 fuel hose, and we're going to slit the middle of it and then run some hose clamps over top of that, and that's what's going to hold everything down for us. show you here how we've done the driver's side. See the passenger side up here currently has nothing going on right there. So how this works though, we used a zip tie to get it back into position away from the wheel where we want it. And then we came in here and took that hose that I told you about that we slit the middle of it and double clamped it on. So what that's going to do is that's going to hold this thing from sliding back towards the wheel, and it'll still let the cable function inside of all that because you're not actually clamping the cable, you're just clamping the outside. So this should be the simple fix to keep this thing from rubbing the inner wheel. So if you guys have got an early generation 5th gen and you're putting ZL1 wheels, aftermarket wheels, anything that's anything bigger than stock is probably going to have this. So that's what we're going to do over here, and then we're going to take it for a drive and hopefully everything holds up. All right guys, got the other side in. You can see there this little trick on how to hold your park brake cable. Just slice the inside of that fuel line, use some hose clamps, and look how much more room we got now over here. See, my park brake cable's got at least almost probably 3/4 of an inch or so. On this side I've got about the same, maybe even an inch, as much as an inch right there. And before, guys, you can see where this was actually rubbing the wheel weight. You know, it's definitely gonna snap your park brake cable. So if you hear any kind of a loud thud when you set your car on the ground for the first time, make sure and check these park brake cables, and this is how you fix it. So pretty cheap. I think you can do this for about $8, if that. So this is how you do it. All right guys, so this is part 2 of this little series we're doing on the little 5th gen here. Of course, as you guys know, this is my mother's car. So a couple days have passed because for me to actually be able to drive this car, I had to put rock guards on it. Okay guys, so like these Goodyear Eagle F1, the supercars, are insanely grippy, but the problem with that is it throws rocks all over everything, and it will kill the fins on the back of your car, in this area right here in particular, and also back here and all down the door. So the best way to fix that, if you go on Phase Tech's site, they actually have some pretty nice rock guards. Now, this stuff is not cheap, so just buyer beware. All right guys, got the car on the lift now. Things nice and supported under here, shouldn't be any issue. As far as these guys go, I think I've got the wrong one, but you get the idea. You got 2 bolts here, and there's going to be some clips that's going to hold this onto your inner fender. There's a nice lip right here, and that allows you to clip this guy on. Of course, you're going to want this one on this side, so you have the nice textured piece. I would imagine you'd want the textured piece showing to the outside, just like that. So you see how that's going to work. You got those 2 bolt holes we're going to pick up on. But now I think what I'm going to have to do here is just turn the wheel, you know, this direction of whichever side I'm working on. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to start tearing this down and showing you guys how to install these rock guards. I'm just going to start taking these out. T20, no big deal. This isn't really as much as an installation video as a how good does this work video. So it also mentions 2 clips. I'm going to grab those next, but I just want to set this on here and just kind of get a visual, see how good Phase Tech did with these. Of course, Phase Tech sells them. I'm sure it's somebody else that's making them. I didn't take the time to look on the box. I just grabbed the flares and hooked to town. You can kind of see what we're gonna. You got 2 little clips I'm gonna put on here that go on this back side, and these should work really well. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed. The fit looks pretty good. Not anything crazy, so big thumbs up to Phase Tech. You guys did pretty good with these, I gotta say. So let's get these clips. So this is the clip they give you, and what this is going to do is go on each side of that fender. Going to just clip it into place. I'm going to put 2 on each side because I've noticed there's quite a bow in it. Alright guys, there you go. I ain't got it tight yet, but put my screen down. There's the look. So that should do a fine job of keeping the rocks from destroying the rear quarter. And that was fairly easy to put together. I mean, it's just some clips right here, and then you got these 2 bolts. We're going to snug those down, do the other side, and then I'm really excited to look at these rear ones because they're OEM ZL1s. So we're gonna hop on those and really give you guys an in-depth look on how well these things work too. You see here in the back here, we got one bolt here, down here, and then there's one also right there. So what we're gonna do, basically, these are kind of misleading. So this right here is for a ZL1, like a legit ZL1. So all these bolt holes are legitimate on a ZL1. For what we're doing with them, we don't actually catch any of these holes. These actually just go around where those bolts go in. This is like a sound deadening sort of, I mean, it helps hold it, but it's more or less just anti-rattle. And then it's kind of captured in place. So I'm gonna show you guys how to put this on, and it's really not too bad. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see anything from here, but we'll see. We're gonna give it a shot. So we're gonna start by taking these 3 bolts out. And now one other thing I actually found out on this one, I don't know, maybe they're all supposed to do it, but I like the look of it better if it's tucked in behind the liner. I'll show you guys what I mean here in a second. How these go on. So basically, the way these are designed is they slide into place here. You can see the bolt holes where they pick up. Now, what I'm gonna do with this thing, focus, there we go. You can see here the bolt holes, they don't match up, okay? They're not even close. But you ain't worried about that. They don't even matter. I'm going to show you guys the other side. I did go ahead and do this side ahead of time just because there's no installation instructions. Maybe they just left them out. But what I ended up doing here, guys, was tucking this in behind the fender liner. You guys can see here. It's tucked. Nice and neat in behind this liner. So you can't see it at all. It really looks kind of factory. I like the look of it. So you can see there's the look you get. Pretty nice. Should do a fine job of keeping the rocks off of everything. And it's subtle, you know, they're not really that bad. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean by tucking these in. Pull your liner out just a little bit. I want to come from behind and push on it a little so you can get it started. Once you're started, come on around like that. There you go. So basically, when you tighten everything down, it's just gonna hold it in place. You don't really have to catch the bolt holes to do it. I mean, if you think about it, you really don't have to have the bolt holes, so that's kind of convenient. And then, of course, once it's down, pull that, and that's like your anti-rattle, kind of holds it in place too. But you can see there, tucking it in is very neat. It looks quite nice tucked. So, highly recommend these if you guys are looking for a set of rock guards, and you know, if you're like me, you're on eBay and Amazon, go to Phase Tech, get the real deal. These are fantastic. They were super easy to install, and they look great. So I'm going to slide this other side in, bolt it down, and then we're going to take off down the road and see how they do. Alright guys, of course I told you this car is an auto. We're going to give this thing a whirl here and see how it drives. Wow, it's so different inside of a 2010 to 13s. I don't know what it is. They feel totally different than the 14s and 15s. It's crazy, guys, but it's true. There is a difference in them. Like, there is a huge difference in them inside. I literally can't see anything out of here. Like, I really feel like I can't see anything. And compared to, like, my car, I feel like my car is actually remotely pretty easy to see out of. This thing, though, very hard to see out of. It's just kind of ridiculous, but we're going to take this thing down the road and see how it does. I gotta adjust this column. Kill me with this column. It's not my car. Like I said, you know, if this is your first time watching, don't think this is a guy getting out in his mom's car just playing around. I've got a 2015 SS. It's cammed. It's got quite a lot of work done. So let's see how this thing sounds. Of course, this car is tuned. Listen to the rocks. Oh my God, that's so bad. Oh, I'm so glad that we have rock guards now and we don't have to worry about that. Dude, that is seriously, like, really bad. You can hear a lot of road noise now too. Like, this car is so different with these wheels and tires on it, man. It's crazy. I still can't see anything out of it at all. So we're gonna pull in here though and give you guys a little walk around. It's got a good sound to it. Nice little low rumble. It's got a Borla attack, or it's actually a Borla S-type. So it's not a crazy exhaust, but it's an exhaust that's very livable. I mean, you know, it's wild when you're on it, and then when you're just cruising around, it's really, really nice, and it's totally, you know, daily drivable. This car could be dailied very easily. Doesn't have a cam in it yet, but that's probably gonna change. So guys, there's the final look. Everything's, of course, the car is not settled all the way yet. Keep that in mind. So you got a little bit of wheel gap going on here, but she's not settled down all the way quite yet. Those rock guards look really nice. Of course, I should have probably wiped them off a little bit after I put them on, but you get the idea. They're gonna do a fine job of keeping the rocks off of this thing. This car looks fantastic right now. Super happy with it. The stance is awesome. Of course, this thing's gonna settle out a lot. You guys know this thing's lowered like about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, so it's a huge drop. It'll take this thing a while to settle out, but man, I'm just so impressed with how this turned out. This thing is great. I really look forward to doing more with this in the future, and to be quite honest, I wouldn't mind having this car and getting rid of mine. I know you guys are like, why would you get rid of 1LE? But this is an auto, and it would be a lot of fun to pro charge and build up. So there you guys have it. There's your 5th gen with 6th gen wheels, real ZL1 wheels. These are not knockoffs. So if you guys are wondering, they fit, they do fit. Our car is lowered, and it fit without any issues at all, minus the park brake cables at the back. Pretty minor thing though. So if this is your first time stopping by, be sure and give us a like, you know, subscribe if you haven't done that already, and give us a share too. And be sure and check out some of my other videos. I've got plenty of stuff coming up, but you know, we've got my car, so if you're into Camaros, you can follow that. I've got a lot of stuff going on with it, as well as about 2 or 3 other builds going on at the same time. So anyways guys, if you like what you see, hit that like button, give me a subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm out.